guys, what's going on? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street, Bulls on Crypto Street. Guys, want to talk to you about really an incredible type of pattern that I use often in trading cryptocurrencies and stocks. And we recently had done this in the past few days with LTC. It's a setup that I think you're really going to like. And so don't mind me, all the noise right now. I'm in the Dominican Republic for a conference, Ben Newman's Business Boot Camp. And I'm actually wearing a sweater in the 100-degree heat because the conference rooms are so damn cold that, you know, you got to really bundle up on these bad boys. But like I was saying is, I got this LTC on my watch list because Bitcoin started breaking out. So as you guys know, right, Bitcoin was breaking out over 5,000, and that was a huge move. And so, you know, as we're trading Bitcoin, I want to get ancillary trades that can run across it. So the three biggest setups or three biggest cryptocurrencies are Ethereum and LITECOIN. And so, you know, I started looking at LITECOIN because this thing was just $100 and it's been really consolidating for a long time. And so one of the things I've been watching was this kind of rounding bottom here. As it's been building some support, you can see it's making higher lows here. And so I drew a trend line here at 55, and I kind of put an alert there saying, you know what, if this thing gets over 55, I think it's going to have the potential to start running. And as Bitcoin started to really make its move, I figured those ancillary plays are going to come in. And so you can see what kind of happened here is I put an alert here, and so this thing broke right here at 55, and I ran up to 59, and I was like, oh, shit, I missed it, right? But that's not really the case. You got to always remind yourself, and I do this all the time, is you never miss anything. You just got to wait your turn, right? And so don't get FOMO on this thing. It'll come back. And so later on, as it came kind of crashing back to 55, I started watching this thing, and I wanted it to develop into a pattern where my risk would be really minimized. And so over the next few hours, you can see it started to build this pattern out here. Right on the 15-minute chart. So, you know, we have in our chat room 120 people. This is an awesome chat room, by the way. You know, this is, we've just got a cool community of people that have been really, really, they're active. It could be Sunday and Monday. It doesn't really matter. But we took this trade. So you can see 657. I longed this at 56.64 with a stop under 55. I also text messaged these alerts out, and we emailed them out too, but Slack has an awesome iPhone chat room. It's pretty cool. And so you can see within an hour, 45 minutes, I already sold for $2, and then the next one, fourth, I sold for $3, but it was on a really, really simple pattern here. So I entered right here at the breakout, basically. Right there in the breakout, and immediately this thing started to run, right? And so my first target is really up to the old highs here at 59. So I want to be selling off some into that, and then I want to start keeping lottos, right? So, you know, I sell off half, and to the next spike, I sell off a quarter, and then I keep 1/4, right, for the kind of bigger move. It's what we call our lotto shares. And my thinking was, look, this, you know, we got the 200 SMA here around 60, and then maybe we'll get to 70, and we'll be good to go. So, you know, we took a nice kind of $3 on some of those and $2 on the others. But once we get into that day trade thing and it starts to move, I don't just leave it alone. What I want to keep doing is keep hammering this, because I think that a bigger move is starting to develop, and that's huge, right? Because it's nice to make $2-3 in an hour, right? You have 200 shares, you made yourself some good money, but we want to have bigger moves. And so in the morning, we relonged this thing. 58.40, I long it at GDAX. I traded different accounts, but GDAX, there's no commissions if you do limit orders, so I like that. Put a stop under 54. So basically in the next morning, you could see it came crashing back, and then it started to round. And as it broke over this VWAP, I longed this right here, and my stop is just going under this support right here. So I'm giving myself enough room to let the trade develop, but not so much room where my risk is huge. So because I want to have the ability to get a decent amount of shares, and then, you know, we want to let this thing really do what it's got to do. So I get in at 58.40, and then you can see in some of these other ones, you know, we're also trading along too, and boom, you know, I add in another batch at 58.09, a half position to what I had. So what ended up happening is I got this thing here, popped up a little bit, and then it came kind of back down, but it never stopped me out, right? And then as it started to build out and the pattern got tighter, I added another half position. So I'm in 1.5 size positions right now, which I want to do because as my pattern gets stronger, as I get more consolidation, I want to increase my risk profile so that I can get a big trade out of this thing. And so what I want to be doing is I added another half batch here, and we're off to the races. The next day, first thing in the morning, I wake up, and of course I have my stop losses in, of course. I sell off half my shares now at this point for about $4 into this spike, which was awesome, and so you could see like this thing, I wake up and it's like, whoop, 62.40s, I'm selling some off into the spike, and this thing is really off to the races at this point. And then another 1/4 out of 65.39, and then another 1/4 out of 64.16. So it ends up being about $6-7 on these last shares. I could have got a little bit more out of it here, but sometimes these things just spike. I'm in the Dominican Republic. I'm trading on my phone, and who knows even how secure this stuff is. Sprint claims that my data is pretty good, but who knows. So it's just sell into the spike, and I did leave a little bit on the table, but what can you do? Because this thing got up to, you can see this thing got up to $69, which from our original entry at 58, that would have been a really good shred. So I could have done a couple things better, which is, obviously this would have been the quicker move. Sell off into spike, and then I think I could have probably just reloaded some for a day trade here. I don't want to definitely keep any swing trading shares along when I get this huge gift, but definitely add in some day trading shares as I start to develop this pattern right here, and you break over that trend line, because your risk would be super minimized at that point. Ooh, look at that. So that was pretty cool. Now it's kind of come back and it's consolidating a little. But I love this kind of pattern, guys, where you have this awesome pattern on the daily, and you just got to remember, like, you don't have to hit it right away. The thing is, if you have an awesome pattern on the daily, let it confirm and go, and then hit that pullback, and now you have something that's moving in your favor, where you already know that the confirmation is there, that the bigger move is in the works, and then you can really get some good money. And that's what I love about cryptocurrencies, right? Imagine you had, like, say, a couple hundred shares of this thing at 58 or 59. Well, yeah, when you're selling off in the 64, 65s, you made yourself $1,000. It's an account builder, right? You're building up your account. And of course, that's it's not always the case. You can see for a long time, right? We kind of just sat around waiting for this thing. So, it's not like you always are just shredding out big gains or anything. But when the opportunity comes and the patterns tighten, they can come. Once you get you can see, and I knew this was probably coming, because you could see in the past, this thing takes about 2 months to really even out. It does this all the time, where it'll go sideways for a couple months and then shred. And so, now we got kind of that same type of couple months sideways movement. Maybe we'll start to shred. I'm looking to maybe even re-enter this thing if it can hold here at some point. We'll see. But, so far, so good. I am in this, we did add this position in NEO today in the 29. So it's already had like a beautiful move so far. So who knows? It got up to almost $33, but this one looks like it looks like some of the money is leaving the bigger coins, and it's going into some of these random ones that haven't moved yet. So I'd keep an eye on this OMG and NEO. I think these guys got some potential. But I wouldn't add NEO up here. I already sold half. I added this thing at 29, and it popped $3. I mean, if you get 10% gain, you kind of got to take it, right? So we'll see what's going down. But guys, feel free to leave me any comments, questions, and I will make sure to answer all you guys. Take care.